Hi, and welcome to day 8 of our 2026 Pilates Challenge. Today, we're just going to be doing a big day of stretching and a little bit of mobility. I think you've earned it if you made it this far in our 10-day challenge. I'm really proud of you for joining me so far. So let's just do a couple of big movements just to get us started, because it might be a cold, wintry morning where you are, and make sure you're not going to go into some big stretches totally cold. Let's reach up and over. Little bend in the knee and stretch. Want to make sure you get the blood flowing and that your body gets a little bit physically warm before we start with some big stretches. Let's just do some high knee marching. Exhale. You can go as fast or as slow as you like here. Just trying to get you to physically warm up a little bit. It's a little chilly here. Got my socks on. 3, 2, and 1. Make your feet nice and wide. I'm just going to reach down, tap my toes, and come up in the middle. Just kind of moving at your own speed, going as deep or as shallow as you like. Good. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's come to the top of our mat. We'll do some nice reverse lunges down and up. Probably not going super deep here. Again, we're just waking up. All right, let's bring your hands out in front. Now you're going to add a twist towards the front knee while you're in your lunge. So back, twist, up, and together, alternating which leg comes back behind you. 4 more. 3, 2, and 1. Good. Let's make our hips nice and wide. Knees and feet are nice and wide. And I'm just shaking my hips side to side. Sometimes I can get a little crack out of my hips. And let's do some hip circles while we're here. All the way back and around. We'll do 4 in each direction. 2 more. Nice, slow, big hip circles. And switch. And 4. From here, we're going to do some standing hip circles. So I'm going to come open, and then on the same leg, you're going to come around and close. Still just sort of warming up here. And 4. Switch legs up and around. 2, 3. All right, we're going to move on to some shoulder and then lower back and then standing hips and thighs. And then we're going to come down on the floor. So let's bring your arms out in front. I'm going to close, collapse your chest and open. Good. Really squeeze your shoulder blades together. Feel the stretch through your chest and your shoulders. There's a mosquito. 1 more. Close and open. Let's just do some nice, easy shoulder rolls. Everybody loves a good shoulder roll. Switch directions. 4 in each direction. You can go as fast or as slow with any of these stretches. All right, let's come up and over for a side stretch. My knees are just a little bit soft here. Make sure you're not locking out your knees. Up and over. 1 more. Sorry. Now I'm going to bring my arms up overhead. These are called arm reaches. So with my right arm, I'm reaching up towards my right. And then my left arm up and over. So it's not a side bend. What I'm trying to do is I'm stretching through my obliques and my serratus muscles, which are these like muscles that are right in front of your ribs. And I'm really trying to just expand and reach through that side. Ugh. Big reach. Think of your ribs staying level and you're sliding them along a shelf. Up and over. One more each side. Good. Let's come down. We're going to do some big arm circles. So I'm going to start with my right arm. My palm is up, reaching up, across, almost like someone's pulling you as far as they can out in this direction, and then down. Getting a big range of motion through your rotator cuff. I'm sorry if you can hear my dogs barking. One more on this side in this direction, and then we just reverse direction, open and close. Good. One more on this arm. So we open our palms, come up as far as you can, like someone's pulling your arm out of your socket, and then down, maybe a little bit more gentle than someone actually pulling your arm out of your socket. But I really want you to experience a big range of motion with some of these exercises today. Let's switch direction, up and around. Oh, it feels so good to really reach through your rotator cuffs sometimes. One more. Good. I'm going to keep my hands on my hips here. And all I'm going to do is I'm pressing through my middle back and I'm rounding. And then I'm reaching my back straight. So kind of rounding and then spine is straight. We do this one a lot, sometimes on the floor, getting a little bit of mobility through your spine. One more. Okay, let's just stand here. Your knees are nice and soft. Again, we're going to do some pelvic rocking. So I like to put one hand in front, one hand in back, and my pelvis is rocking up and I'm engaging my core, and then it's rocking forward. I guess there's different ways to say up and back, but now my pelvis is reaching up in the front and back and down in the back. So basically I'm just arching and then tucking my pelvis. This is really good to get a little bit of stretching through your lower back, even into the hips. If you have back pain, a few more here. All right, now, if you can see my feet, I'm going to move back a little bit. I'm going to put my left heel down and my toes are up. And I'm just doing a hip hinge. So my hips are coming back behind me and that left knee is straight. You might get a better stretch if your leg is slightly elevated here and you're doing the same thing, reaching back and up. Or you can keep your heel on the floor. Lots of people feel a really good hamstring stretch with your heel down on the floor. So let's hold it here. So we're bent over, definitely feeling the stretch in the back of our legs. And I'm going to rock my toes side to side. This is a good one if you have a band. Maybe you would pull it and feel more of a stretch through your calf, or you can reach for your toes. Don't worry if that's not accessible for you. You can always just do it without holding on to anything. Good. So now my right heel is down and my toes are up. We're going to do this hip hinge. Standing on the left leg, I'm going to elevate my heel. Good. Try to keep your chest up and your back straight, just so you're not rounding over the leg. So it's not this. Your back is straight. I really want you to feel this stretch through your hamstring, maybe in your glutes a little bit. Good. Hold it down. And I'm rocking my toes side to side. All right, come on up. I'm going to move all the way back. Hopefully you can see my feet. Just doing this walking motion, and I'm stretching through the arches of my feet, coming up on my tiptoes. Lots of people crack their ankles or their toes this way, but this is such a good stretch for anybody that has pain in their arches, if you have plantar fasciitis or if you have Achilles tendon pain. We often forget to warm up and stretch through our feet and our ankles. Let's hold it on one side. So now my left toes are down and I'm pressing my weight over to my little toe and then over to my big toe. I'm stretching my toes here. Switch feet. Now my right heel is up, gently just pressing on all the toes. And then I'm going from my big toe to my little toe, just transferring the weight, stretching through my toes. This feels really good. All right, last couple things here. I'm going to do a quadricep stretch. So you can hold on to something for balance. I really want you to push your hip forward and your knee comes down, straight down towards the floor, and heel is in towards your glutes. Good. Flip to the other side. Push your hip forward. Heel is in towards your glutes. Good. I'm going to make my feet nice and wide. Let me come a little bit closer to you. We're just going to do a good morning, pushing our hips back behind us and our back stays straight. You can bring your hands up overhead for more of a stretch. Trying to bring your chest down so it's parallel with the floor and your back is straight. One more. Okay, from here, we're going to bend all the way forward. And I'm going to bend my elbows. And I'm just leaning forward. Doesn't matter if your legs are bent or straight here. Rocking side to side a little bit. Now I'm going to hold it here. I think I'm going to move my microphone. Sorry, it's up against my face. And I'm going to bend one knee and the other knee. Good. Hands on the floor. And we are going to come all the way down to all fours. All right, we're down on the floor and I'm sitting on top of my heels. My knees are out in front. I'm going to lean my torso forward and then I come up like a hip thrust, squeezing my glutes. When I'm way down in this position, I can really feel a lengthening through my lower back and through my glutes. Squeeze your glutes at the top. This is a great warm up for hip thrusts or squats, lunges, because it really gets a lot of motion through your lower back, wakes up your hips a little bit. Good. Couple more of these. And one. Let's hang out here on all fours for just a few minutes. And we're going to do some little shoulder circles, which takes a little bit of coordination, but my chest comes down, my shoulders back, push out front, and then around. Don't worry so much about the coordination, but if you imagine like a ball and socket. I know that a shoulder joint is not a proper ball and socket joint, but the ball is trying to rotate all the way around within the socket. So let's reverse. So then I come forward, down, back, and up. Good. Let's make your hips nice and wide, pushing down for a child's pose. My arms are out straight in front. Keep trying to reach your arms as far forward as they will go. And then I put my forehead down. I do a little wiggle, 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 wiggle through my hips and my shoulders. Okay, good. Let's come on up. I'm going to bring my right leg forward and my left leg back behind me for a hip flexor stretch. So my hips are going forward and down. So a way to intensify this stretch is to elevate the back foot. Maybe if you have a couch or a chair right behind you, or even a yoga block or something, it can really intensify the stretch through this front hip flexor. Let's hold it down here. My hands are going to come to the inside of my front foot, and very carefully, I'm going to drop my right knee out towards the right, and my foot comes up a little bit. I don't know if you can see very well what's going on. Let me shift. So my right knee is dropping out towards the right. This is an intense stretch. And you want to feel like you're pushing your hands down into the floor, but then pulling them back towards your waist. Ooh. Good. Let's do 10 more seconds here. All right, come on up. We're going to stay on this side, but I'm going to walk this foot over to my left side, and now I'm doing a pigeon stretch. And you can stay up on your hands, or you can come down to your forearms. Now I'm feeling it in the outside of the hip. Very nice. Pigeon stretch, super popular. Everybody should be doing it. It really unlocks some of the soreness, the tightness in the outside of your hip and the outside of your glutes. Good. Come on up. Let's come back up to all fours. Before we do the other side, let's just do a couple of cat-cows. If you've been doing my videos by now, you know how to do a cat-cow. It's not the most complicated thing. Good. And now I'm going to bring my left leg forward to this kneeling lunge, and I'm coming forward and down for this hip flexor stretch. All right, hold it down. Bring both hands to the inside of your front leg, and then drop this knee out to the side, and then to intensify it, feel like you're pulling your hands back down towards your waist. Ooh. Just take some deep breaths here. Good. Let's walk this foot over to the right side. Keep walking, keep walking, keep walking. Carefully place the knee down and come forward for a pigeon stretch. Good. This is another one. If you're down on your elbows, if you feel like you're pulling your elbows towards your waist, you get just a little bit more, like 10% more of a stretch out of it than if you're out here and your arms aren't doing anything. Just push the floor, push into the floor and pull your mat back towards your waist. Good. We're going to swing all the way around. My feet are out in front. I'm going to have my hands just comfortably back behind my glutes. Your fingers can point anywhere. And I'm going to rock onto my toes, forward and back with my knees. This is a pretty tough stretch. It's tough for people with neck tension or pain. If you want, we can stay here and your knees are forward, and I'm feeling the stretch all the way from my quads to my hip flexors. Good. We're going to do a couple of rotations. So let's just sit comfortably. My right hand over to my left knee, and I'm going to rotate over to my left and then over to my right. One more, then we're going to do a V-sit stretch. Okay, let's make your feet just a little bit wider than your mat, or maybe as wide as your mat. The first thing we're going to do is just walk forward. Try to keep your chest up so you're kind of leaning into it from your hips, and try to keep your back straight and your shoulders back. Keep walking if you can until you feel like you're about at your maximum, and then see if you can lower your head and lower down onto your elbows. Good. Come on up. I'm going to change directions a little bit. I'm going to put my right hand right down in the middle, big up and over side reach. Keep going all the way. See if you can come all the way to your toes. But it's really important that you stay open through this top shoulder and you're looking up at the ceiling. So I'm not closed and looking down at my knee. Good. My arm is by my ear. Good. Come on up. Switch. Bring your left hand over right in between your legs. Right arm is open. Shoulder is open. And I'm reaching for my toes. Good. One more each side, but now we are going to move through that shoulder a little bit. So come over to the side. I'm going to look up at the ceiling and then doing a little rotation through the middle part of your back and your chest. Close, look down at your knee, and then open, look up at the ceiling. So I feel a big stretch through my lats, through my shoulder, all the way through my obliques. Good. One more, just like this. And up. Ooh, that's a big stretch. Let's come up and over to the other side. First, I look up at the ceiling, and then I look down at my knee. Open and close. One more. And close. While we're here, we're going to do one more of these big forward stretches. Then we have a couple of shoulder stretches and some arm mobility and stretching, and then we're done. So I'm going to swing over to my side. So I'm just going to lay comfortably down on my side. Let's see if I can get my arm in here. My arm is right out in front of my shoulder, and I'm going to bring my top hand back and around. I'm going to hit my plant and then around and close. Let's see if I can give myself some room here to not run into my plant. There we go. Open and close. Try to keep your thumb kind of pressed against the floor as you open your chest and then come around. Oh, these are called arm openings. These are so nice. Good. We're just going to switch right over to the other side. Knees are bent. Arm is right out in front. Rotate. Bring your thumb back behind you. Shoulders are away from your ears. You should definitely be feeling a stretch in your chest here. What I like about this stretch is that it actually starts as like a shoulder stretch. I feel the stretch in the outside of my shoulder. And then as I come around and I open up my chest, now I feel it in the front of my body. Good. Ooh, my shoulder just cracked. That's the goal here, right? Is we're working through some cracks and some stiffness. And up. Good. So we're going to have one more seat here. I'm just going to bring one arm across, stretch through the side of the shoulder a little bit more than we just did. Other arm across. And then one arm up, bend the elbow, hold on to this elbow, just kind of pull it in for a little bit of a tricep stretch. So if you did shoulder and arm day yesterday, we did a lot of push-ups, we did a lot of arm stuff. I am a little bit sore from doing all of that yesterday. Good job. Let's go up and over. We did some tricep dips. My triceps are a little bit sore. Good. Just sit comfortably, put your hands on your knees, and we're just going to tuck the chin down and look up. Shoulders are away from your ears here, and your neck is nice and long. Then we're going to hold it here in the middle and just bring your chin over to one side. If you want to intensify the stretch a little bit, you can push down on the opposite shoulder. Feeling a big neck stretch. Bring your chin over to the other direction. One more each side. Neck stretches are just the best, the best. It doesn't get better than this. This is it. Now one more neck stretch, and we're just going to tilt. So tilt your ear down to the same shoulder. You can kind of hold on to the top of your head and pull. And now the stretch a little bit deeper in the back of your neck. I have a lot of clients, my PT clients, that go to physio regularly, and it works out really well because the physio tells them what they need to do, and then they come and they strengthen and they stretch and they tone with me, and then they go back to their physio. But every physio of all of my clients says you need to stretch your neck. So I do try to build in neck stretching one more time each side with every single client. It's a common thing, especially these days with the screens and sitting on computers and sitting on a desk all day. We're going to have a seat, and then we're just going to do a few more shoulder rolls, just like we did in the beginning. And then we are done. I feel like I just gave myself a massage. I'm really proud of you if you're sticking with day 8. Day 9, we have a whole core session, lots of abs and a little bit of back. I hope you're going to join me, and I hope you're having a great 2026. Thank you.